Good morning, friends. Welcome to our little Smiling Acres homestead. I just wanted to show you a few things going on. Not anything big, but just things I enjoy. Our muscadines this year are loaded. You can see the huge bunches. So let me come down here and see. There's a really big one down here. This is the bronze scuppernongs, however you're supposed to say it. Look at that bunch. They are loaded this year. I don't know if you can see on the video, some of those are a slightly different color. Those are ripe. That one right there is ripe. And then these are the muscadines. They're smaller. They are not ripe yet. Well, there's been a couple getting ripe here and there. Let me see. I know I'm walking fast, sorry. Hope I don't make you too dizzy. There's a couple trying to get ripe there. There's some trying to get ripe here. Not enough to pick for a batch of jelly yet. A couple trying to get ripe there. And I've got 4 vines on trellises total. I've got 3 more vines not on trellises. There's some trying to get ripe. They're so pretty in the morning sun, aren't they? Just shine. I can't tell you how old these vines are. Got on really nice, strong trellises. 20 foot on either side of the center post. With that 9 tencel, I think it's the 9 tencel wire on it. And as you can see, I've got 1, 2, 3. Those 2 got the post set for a new trellis to hopefully get done this fall when it cools off a little bit. And then the other one, I'm hoping to get another muscadine to put on the other side. Either that or I'm considering a Thompson grape. So I've heard that those grow here. I have a friend who has one. First time letting our babies out. We need to move the pen. But I shut the dog up in the kennel and just let him roam today a little bit. They know where home is. They need to be out on the grass. They are so pretty. Our fig tree is just about done. It did good this year. I got 2 big harvests off of it, and then I had to make an out-of-state trip, and I missed some. But there's a little one right there. I see a couple green ones still on there. They might ripen. Sometimes in the past I've noticed that they don't. When it's near the end, sometimes they'll just drop off. It's a big old tree. It was part of the homestead that was here before we built our house. It's a big old tree. It doesn't always produce so well, so I was very glad to get the 2 good crops off of it, or pickings off of it this year. Oh, looks like a beetle or a wasp enjoyed that one. Oh, there's an ant. Hello, ant. And I rooted and planted 3 of my own little figs. This little one has really struggled, but hopefully it can make it through the winter. The other ones, I thought they were goners because we had a really cold freeze, and boy, they looked sad. But they have come right out. This one's the biggest one, as you can see. I'm very happy. Oh, there's a baby fig on this one. It's probably not going to do anything. Let me see that baby. Ooh, blurry. It's probably not going to do anything. There's some other babies, but it's trying. And this is our beautiful banana trees. I think these are on Trento? Trento, something like that. Bananas. Anyway, they fruit. We're in Zone 8, South Carolina, and they do fruit. They are very tall. Ooh, you can see the light line pole. That's the top. Oh, they're real tall. And I may have to move some of those, or the electric company will move them for me. Well, not move them. They'll cut them down for me. I don't see any blossoming starting yet, which I thought started now. This is August, the beginning of August. I don't see any blossoms yet. Last year I had 5 of them blossom. And that was the most I've had so far. And I got a couple of bananas off of it last year. Not a lot, but a couple. But it takes a long time. This bunch I think is the original, and no, I take that back. I'm gonna swing you around over here. That bunch was the original. And that's got to be probably 6 or 7 years old. But see how it forms a ring? The center will die out and the babies come on the edges. The babies are called pups. And if you don't dig those babies and move them, it just forms a bigger and bigger and bigger ring with the middle dead. And as you can see, I've not been able to maintain these. Normally I just want 1 tree in each spot. I've got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. These lilies are starting to bloom. These are a very old lily. They're called swamp lilies. I looked them up. They're very pretty. First I was calling them peppermint stripe because that's what they look like. But they're so pretty and they look very fragile and sweet. My Louisiana long pod okra is doing wonderful. I need to cut it. Some of those long ones will be good. Now those I think will be too hard. But you know, life is that I can't always do what I want to do when I want to do it. When you got youngins and a young youngin, they kind of rule your schedule. But it looks wonderful. These are starting to get taller. And these beetles, I don't know what kind it is, but these beetles have been flying everywhere. They've been all over my Japanese maple, and I thought they were bumblebees at first because they were just filling the air, buzzing, and I thought those are too big for bumblebees. Finally I saw one land and it was a beetle. Does anybody know why? Is it mating? Are they mating? I mean, they're just flying everywhere. My elderberry is almost done bearing fruit. I did not harvest this year because of life, but next year I'm hoping to have my own honey. And this tree is big. Let me back up. That tree is big enough to give me plenty of berries next year to make my own elderberry syrup. And that's what I want to do. After this year, being sick 2 times, horribly sick, you can better believe I want some elderberry syrup. And of course I have to talk about the bees. You know, I always have to talk about the bees. My girls are doing great, as far as I know. I have to check them today. We've had rain. Well, we got back from our trip and we got sick in 2 weeks. I'm just now feeling like checking my bees. I'm hoping they're all okay in there. That last one doesn't have anything in it. I had taken a queen cell that was on a frame and put in there right before we took our trip. And I was hoping that she'd make it. She hatched out, but she didn't make it back. There's so many dragonflies that I'm sure that that was what happened. Either she didn't make it back or she did and they left, because there were no bees in there when I checked them after I got back home. That was the only one that I got checked. Now this 1, 2, 3, third from the left, I gotta check it again because that's the one that did not have a queen, and they had pulled several queen cells, and I took the frame out of there and put in the 3 frame down at the end. So I'm eager to get in that box and see, do I have a queen in there? That's the one I can't keep a queen in. I don't know what the deal is. The rest of them are, the queen is fine. She's laying like crazy. But that third one from the left, I call that Hive C, because that's Lady Blanche. She's A #1. So ABC. That one, I don't know what the problem is. So I was back here in the back of my property walking with a couple of my children the other day in the rain. It was a lovely walk. Had a big umbrella, baby on my back, and I found something that made me very excited. Back in the very back of our property, we have a big ditch, and along that ditch grows, I call it passion fruit because the blossoms look like passion fruit. It's not exactly passion fruit, it's another name. I can't remember the name. But I was walking along here and I saw all these blooms that were open. Now, these are looking kind of sad. They're hopefully gonna fruit. But oh, here's one that's open, I can show you. It's just a gorgeous flower. It's lovely. It looks so pretty. Anyway, so I found all these passion fruit vines growing all here where it's easily accessible, not out by the ditch. I don't know, can you see the little green fruits? Let me show you, right there. And where's the other one? Oh, it's covered up by a leaf. That one has a spot on it though. I don't know if it's gonna make it right there. Woo! That one. That may not be good. But there's several little fruits that I see. And the vines go on in there too. There's another lovely blossom. I really like passion fruit flowers. They look very pretty. But anyway, I was so excited about that. Look at that funny caterpillar. He is so spiky. I wonder what he's going to turn into. He looks dangerous right now, doesn't he? There was a lovely butterfly flitting about out here. Oh, there it is. I don't know if you can see it on the video. Oh, it just landed. Come on. Fly around so I can get a picture of you. There you go. So our friends can see you. There it is. Oh, very pretty. Anyway, I was so excited to see all the passion fruit vines. And then I'm going to pan over here to the other side of the trail, and it's all over there too. Oh, the butterfly joined us on this side. So I was walking, and I see we've got some flowers starting to bloom, some weeds. And that is very good news for me as a beekeeper. Look at these lovely pollen-filled flowers for my bees. I tell you, when you are a beekeeper, you look at the world differently than you did before. Before I'd be walking along thinking, oh, look at these. I mean, they're pretty. They're weeds. You know, they're weeds. But now I'm like, those are filled with pollen for my bees. I don't know when we're going to start coming out of the dirt, but maybe this is a sign. Look, here's somebody getting some pollen. So 2 years ago, we planted Jerusalem artichokes in hopes of getting a big batch to make artichoke relish, because we love artichoke relish. But I've been very disappointed that both of my patches, this is only one, both of my patches have blight so bad. It killed almost all my other patch. This one still has, you can see some plants standing, and this one, I'm glad to see it flowering. It's in the sunflower family, for those of you who don't know. Hello, beetle, another beetle. The flowers look like sunflowers, like little sunflowers. Anyway, there is something that I can mix up and pour on the soil to help with blight, but I can't do anything right now that requires a lot of concentration and effort beyond, you know, what I have in the house. I do what I can, but anyway, just wanted to show you that. If anybody has any ideas for me on how to control blight. I have one plant that, well, I think it's a couple plants that came up in the garden because I had a couple of red Jerusalem artichokes. They were small, and I went ahead and planted them in the garden just to see what they would do. And they came up and they were beautiful. There's no blight that I can see in the garden spot. So I'm curious what makes that different, because this was not a garden originally. I just tilled it up, planted them in here, and the blight was not, it was horrible. Our pear tree is dropping its fruit. You can see, it's pretty tall. This poor tree has really struggled You can see by the bark, I've broken off what has been there that has broken off. This poor tree has really had a time of it. I tried to prune it because that's what I read you're supposed to do for instances like that, where the branch is broken off or the fruit gets too heavy for it. I tried to prune it and I think I hurt it more than I helped it. And I said, you know, I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm not doing any more pruning, and I think it's doing much better. I'm just letting it grow however it wants to grow. I was pruning out the middle ones to give it air, you know, all what you find on the internet, you know, all the information you find. So I was trying to do that, and I don't think I was helping my poor tree. But here's some fixing to be ready. This is a kefir pear, so the pears are crunchy and hard. It's not my favorite. I prefer the Bartlett pear that softens on the tree, because these never get soft. But they're crunchy and they're really juicy and they're sweet. My husband likes crunchy. He likes crunchy pears. And here I have my American persimmon tree. I didn't mean for this to be an American persimmon tree. It was supposed to be a Fuyu persimmon, but the graft died. And so the stock tree came up, which is fine. We really enjoy these persimmons. And this year there's some really big ones on there. I can't do anything with them though. Last year I tried to make some jelly. Whew, it was so sour. I put lots of sugar in it, but couldn't eat it. It was horrible. I had to pour it out. But the tree is just loaded with these American persimmons, and when they drop, they turn orange and they drop on the ground. Oh, look, there's one starting to turn. Oh, that's exciting. It's big. This has some of the biggest ones on here this year that I've ever seen on this tree. Let's see if I can find the ones that I found that I thought were really, really big. I don't know. That's a pretty big one there. Anyway, they turn orange and they drop on the ground, and I come out and pick them up and eat them, and they're sweet and good. They have big seeds in them, but it's nice to eat something organic out of your own yard that you don't have to worry has yucky stuff on it. There's one fixing to turn. And there's a little volunteer tree that came up, and I have that reserved for a friend. I'll dig it up in the fall and give it to her. We're not that far. I keep saying fall. We're not that far from fall. Got to get my mind wrapped around where we are in the year, things I need to do. Now this is a Fuyu persimmon, and this tree had a beautiful persimmon on it, and oh, I couldn't wait till it got ripe. Well, I didn't figure in the deer. They know when something's ripe. Well, they got it right before it was ripe. I'll know next time if it fruits again. Hopefully it will. I don't see any blossoms or even starts of blossom, but persimmons are hard to find the blossoms. They hide. I hope this tree makes it. It's struggled a little bit. It's supposed to be bigger than that, but it's had a time. But I really want Fuyu persimmons. I love the big Fuyu juicy persimmons. And to make persimmon cake, it's the best. And this right here is a Moringa tree. Please excuse the lawnmower in the background. This tree is a very interesting tree. The leaves are very high in protein. I don't know the percentage. I can look it up, so can you. But anyway, I ordered it from Baker Creek, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But this is the largest one. The others are tiny. But the leaves are kind of spicy flavored. They're very good to add into salad. And I need to remember to do it. But I don't really want to harvest too much off of, a little tree. Now last year this tree got really tall before wintertime, and it actually bloomed, and I got so excited that I thought I was going to get some of the seed pods off of it, which are edible. But our winter came too soon. Got too cold for it. But it was the first time it bloomed, and I got so excited about it. So. And some of you may not be excited like I am about this tree. It's a mulberry tree. And I know a lot of you think that's a trash tree, but guess what? It's fruit. And it's organic, and there's things you can do with mulberries. I grew up with a mulberry tree, and we children loved it. My parents hated it because the birds made a mess. They loved the mulberries, and they'd poop it everywhere, of course. It was by a cement slab, and they would just mess up that cement slab, make it look awful. But we children, I ate a lot of mulberries when I was growing up. I liked the pink ones too, the ones that weren't ripe. But a friend gave me this, and I planted it, and this is finally starting to take off. This is probably the 3rd or 4th year on this tree, and it took it a while. I thought it was going to take off faster than that, but I'm glad to see the growth on it. It's not the prettiest tree right now. The leaves are looking kind of, well, I guess it's fallish, but it doesn't look too pretty, does it? And then over here, I don't know which tree is which, but these two babies, one of them is a Meyer Lemon. No, not a Meyer. It's another kind of lemon, sorry. And one of them is a kumquat. And I really want them to make it through the winter, so I think I'm gonna wrap them up good, because last winter, I didn't know if they were gonna make it. It took them a while to show some green this year. I thought I'd lost them. I did lose my other one. I had another baby tree. I can't remember what kind it was, but I lost it. But I would love to have my own citrus trees. These are supposed to be cold hardy citrus that I bought at a semi-local nursery. And I would love to have my own citrus trees. A couple little pepper plants I have on my front porch. These are grow boxes. And plants do well in here as long as I can keep them watered. Well, I tell my children to water them, but that's still me watering, right? It takes effort to tell somebody to go water something. This is a banana pepper, sweet banana pepper, and we've enjoyed several off of that. And this one, well, I'll have to go around the other side. It's not showing. Yeah, I got bugs on it, some bad spots, but these turn dark. Let me come up to the other side, excuse me. These turn really dark purple. And the first couple we got really big, but these last ones are staying small. Really good flavor on those. I know, look at this poor thing. I didn't tell somebody to water it, evidently. We keep this bucket right here in the corner, and it catches the rainwater off the roof, and it's so nice to have it right here where I can water my plants on my front porch. But this is some kind of melon. I don't remember which one because I just grabbed seeds and poked them in there. I poked them all in here, but of course it only went on one side. That's my luck. But look at this thing, how it's growing down and all the way over there. I'm gonna have to tuck it underneath so it won't get stepped on when we're out on the porch. And then over here, my girls learned to try and experiment. They got some cotton out of one of the fields by us, and they planted it in this pot, and look what we've got. Looky there, we've got a bowl. Isn't that called a bowl? A bowl of cotton. Did I say okra? I sure hope I didn't say okra. Cotton. It's cotton, y'all. But yeah, they were so excited to watch this come up and grow and actually bloom. The blooms are so pretty. And we've got a little bowl of cotton. I don't know if y'all can see them, but the beetles are all in the top of the tree. Can you see them? They're just all kind of clustered up at the top of the tree. There's a couple of them flying around. Oh, can you see it? Yep, there's one. But the other day I came out here and the whole tree, the whole top of the tree was almost like a swarm. They were just flying. So many of them. Weird. That's my poor Anna apple tree. It finally died. Something happened to the bark. Something got into the bark and killed my tree. I'm gonna have to get some more apple trees. I love having my own apples. And I was looking up, and there's several types of apple trees that will fruit here in our zone. That is a Confederate rose in the very back. That bush right there in the very back, that's a Confederate rose. I'm waiting on it to bloom. I don't know if it will this year. That's some kind of shrub that we got from a family member that was moving. It's a knockout rose we were given for the passing of our infant daughter. And this is another rose we were given in memory of our sweet little girlie that we lost. And we have our beautiful flag. Our flag is a little bit raggedy, kind of like what our country is right now. You know, we've been through a lot. But as long as we don't lose our faith in God, we'll be all right. Thank you for joining me today on a little walk around my yard. I like to share. Have a good day. Remember to smile.